It's like sometimes you just got to let go of what you're holding onto so tightly. This is a bigger metaphor for life as well, to allow what's meant for you to come back.
Yes. Hi everyone, and welcome to the podcast Fly with Nell. I usually use this podcast to talk about travel and self-development and people that I meet along the way. But today, we wanted to record a very special episode with Paul because Paul wanted to have a conversation with me, and we just wanted to share some insights about money, your relationship with money, but also your relationship with yourself, journey of self-love and self-development. So we talked about different stuff. We hope you enjoy.
Something I've been thinking about today is money.
Yeah.
When money is... and in fact, I wrote it down. I was like, if you really believe in your abilities to do something, then why are you so stressed about money between now and then? Like, if you believe that you have a talent and have an ability to do something maybe better than the majority of people, to become an expert in your industry or to be someone who's admired in your field, then you just have to get to a point where you trust that you're going to be able to be successful at some point. And then if, or when rather, you become successful, then money will not be a problem after that. So I guess it's letting go of the attachment to money between now and that point. So I was like, well, I don't have a lot of money right now. I have like a buffer, so if I lost my job, I'd be okay for a period of time. But I'm not able to just start dropping cash on things. Like, I still have to be quite smart. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I would like to have more money. I'd like to be able to buy a house. I'd like to be able to travel more. You know, friends of mine, they've got investment properties. They've, you know, in a different position than I am. But at the same time, I believe that at some point I'm going to join the dots and things are just going to happen. And then at that point, money will not be a concern anymore after that, because I believe that I've got something of value to offer. I'm just figuring out how to apply that, how to share that value with people.
Do you think it's just about time to get
Just
there?
time. It's just patience. I think I remember a boss told me once, he was like, this is when I was causing problems at work because I was frustrated because I wasn't earning enough and I wanted to be promoted and I wasn't working in an industry that I cared about. So I was like just ruffling feathers and pissing people off. And I remember he was the owner of the business and he called me and we had a chat and I respected him. And he was just like, Paul, like, you just need to like slow down. And I remember him saying, you're like a caged lion just wanting to attack everything. It's like, just don't worry about the money. The money will come. But for now, just like learn, absorb, you know, be patient and just, it will come. Like, don't put so much pressure on that. And I don't think that really sunk in until probably today, when I was just thinking, like, I'm comfortable. I can't like live the life that I would ideally want to live, but I'm comfortable. And like, look out my window. It's like, I could have it a lot worse. Like, I can live a life. I can have my breakfast eating out, even if I eat out too much, which then, you know, stops me saving as much as I'd like, but I can still like be comfortable. And then if I keep sharing and adding value and making connections, you know, if I truly believe in myself and what I can offer the world, then it's like, it's just inevitable that it will happen. We just have to trust that. And maybe that's where like self-doubt comes in. It's like, the reason we stress about money is maybe because we doubt our ability to actually do what we dream we could do.
Maybe, or it's maybe because of our relationship with money. What's yours? What's your relationship with money?
Well, I've never had money. I think this is when people don't have something and then they have it. It's like the value of money. There's more of a value of money. People who've always had money, they don't value it as much as people who haven't had it and then do have it. So like my family didn't have money growing up. And then there was a period of time where I was like obviously flat broke, really struggling to survive. And then, you know, you're constantly looking at your bank account and you're constantly calculating, you're constantly stressing about it because it is like literally not life or death, but...
When you look at money, do you feel positive about it or negative, or do you feel fear? What do you feel when you think about money for you? Because in the end, it's your relationship.
Well, yeah, it's a really good question, because I would say I do, historically and up until very recently, I probably have felt quite anxious when I've thought about money.
Do you know why? Yes, your past, but today, with your job, with the fact that you know that you're successful, you can have more and more value in your job and everything. And as you said before, money comes and goes, so it will come. Why are you still anxious about it?
Well, I would say that only in the last 12 months have I actually had a small sense of financial freedom, where I'm not worrying about, you know, if I want to buy that t-shirt for $50 instead of getting the $15 H&M, it's like that doesn't matter anymore. I can't buy all of the $50 t-shirts that I want, but it's like those simple purchases are like, shit, this is like, you know, 10% of what I'm going to earn this week. Like, I really can't afford that. And I've only had that in the last 12 to 18 months. And I think from that, it's given me the perspective of maybe understanding that not having money really does play on your mind. It's like people who are living paycheck to paycheck. It's like that really does take its toll. And when you take away that burden, it's not just the freedom that then allows you to, you know, it's not just about what you can then spend money on, but it's just you're not thinking about that anymore. And that in itself is a huge weight. And then you can start thinking about other things. You can start thinking about what I want to learn, you know, what people do I want to spend time with, what places do I want to see and explore, what's that going to teach me?
But don't you think that these things are stuff that you can think about it now without...
Yeah, and that's where it's like really, it's like a snowball effect. It's like once you have the freedom to think about the future and making plans, not just surviving, suddenly you're like, wow, okay, so I can really do something with my life now. That breeds more financial success and more. And then it's like, wow, okay, so now we're away. Not to say that you won't run into roadblocks or you might end up back there again. Even if you do, you've lived a life or you've been on a journey, you've learned some things, which is going to allow you to come out of that situation the second time or the third time better prepared.
Yeah. I think you're right with everything. I think it's important to, first of all, go back to the relationship we have with money and see what is important for us. Why do you need money? Why do we need money for? Yes, to survive, first of all, to pay the bills, to pay the rent. But after that, why do you need money? So is it to have, I don't know, a lot of stuff? Do you like material things, or do you like to invest in something, anything? Like, this is just all the stuff that you want, but at the same time, because you're successful in your job, is your job or your relationship with people, whatever, cannot make you rich in the inside. And I'm not talking here about money, but this kind of other way to be rich. So I think, for me, I think there is a balance. There is the step to be like, okay, here I have enough money to pay my bills, rent, and live my life. And then which gap do I have to fill in to make sure that I'm happy every day and I can afford the t-shirt or the coffee or the restaurant or whatever. But I think it's really important to know what is important for us, why money is important for us, and why do we need money, what do we want to spend with it? Because if not, then it's like, as you said before, the dominoes effect. It's like you want more and more and more and more, and you're never happy with what you have. So that's why I think money it's a tough subject. It's like, it's important to know, why do you need money in your life, and where do you put money in your values and everything.
Well, this is like when they talk about a universal basic income. It's like that's a somewhat controversial topic. So giving everyone an amount of money each week that covers what is agreed as being, this is what you need to survive. Doesn't matter, you don't have to work for it, we're just going to give you that money.
Yeah.
And it seems from the evidence coming back from studies on this is that when you take away the stress of survival, you actually allow people the mental capacity to start thinking about, well, if I don't need to worry about money, how do I want to spend my time?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and then that opens up a whole, array of avenues that you could be giving back to society positively and then offsetting the costs that it was to give you that money in the first place.
Yeah.
So really, like, money is just a way to cover your basics and then maybe create a sense of freedom around, like, freedom not just being freedom to travel or to buy things, but the freedom to decide.
Freedom.
It's like people who are living paycheck to paycheck don't have the freedom to decide. They have to go to work or they're not going to eat. They have to go to work because they're not going to be able to pay rent, or their kids aren't going to be able to eat, go to school, etc. So it's just the freedom to decide, the freedom to have control over your own life. And that's where they say it's like autonomy in our own life, like the ability to have control over our own destiny. Yeah. It's like when you are working some shitty job to make someone else rich because you don't have a choice, because if you don't turn up, like, shit's going to get real for you. You're just like, you're a slave, really, because you don't have any control over your own destiny. And that is completely disempowering. And I think the cause of a lot of issues we see in society, because people aren't in control of their own lives. And we need control.
But how would you explain all these countries where people are poor, but they are really happy? And all these kind of, I'm not going to say, I don't have the countries in mind, but all these studies which show that all the poorest people in the world are also the people who are the most happy in the world. And they never talk about money, and they will never talk about money with you. How would you explain that then?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe there's an argument there as to why capitalism isn't the way forward. It's just the way that's widely accepted.
I think, again, it's just about how do you put, what's important for you in life, what's your values in life, and what can make you happy. If it's something that you have to pay for it, or is it something like, I don't know, living your life in a van, and I don't know, these kind of things. I think this is where money have the limit. It's like, yes, money is important again, but how much is it important to help you in your life, for yourself, not to fit in the society, not to fit in a group, just for you. What is important for you? And I think it's important to remind ourselves what are, again, values in life, because sometimes you just want to fit in a group which is not yours. You just want to show off, and I know so many people, and I've met so many people in my life who wanted to just show off a lot and spending so much money, and they were not happy at all. They were making tons of money. They wanted to show all the time, like at the end of every week, that they had like the best cars, the best watch, the best this and that, and it was all about money all the time. And they were the ones who were always chasing for money and looking for money and more and more and more. But in the end, at the end of the day, they were the ones who were the most unhappy. So
why do you think they're feeling the need to show off and flaunt
I think
wealth?
I think it's not just about money. It's more about like how much you're confident with yourself. I think it's a deeper subject. It's like you and yourself. Like how much do you love yourself? How much it's your inner, your inner past, your inner child, your all of this, which can be a mix of something. And it's rather than trying to fix themselves, they just wanna escape from this and like show off externally. I would say that.
Well, it's interesting, just like reflecting on that, wondering, these people we see in quite, let's say, poverty or close to the poverty line, who are still very happy despite not having anything, to look at the quality of the relationships and the depth of community and connections around them. And then whether whether it's like the number of connections and the stronger the community, that offsets the lack of financial wealth or material prosperity. But then you flip it into a very individualistic society like, you know, Western culture, largely Western culture, then it's like we don't have the connection or the community. So we use money to try and create a false sense of connection, or so it's like it'd be interesting to look at that kind of cause and effect. It's like community and connection, financial wealth, and then, you know, whether there's a correlation or causality between the two.
I think the biggest point here is love. We all, like, I think to be happy in life, we need love, right? You need to love yourself first, and you need the love of people around you. You need to feel that you have attention, that people like you. This is always like that, right? So I would say that in the countries where they don't have, it's not that they don't have money, it's like the focus is not about money and showing off, but more about the quality of your relationship, family, love, always looking after the others, you know, like always making sure that, you know, in this kind of countries, for example, you go to Bali, people are on the floor sometimes and they want to offer you, even if they don't have anything to offer, they will find something to offer you, right? Just because they want you to feel good, they want to give you some love in their own country. Why like someone who is very, very rich, they want the attention of people, they want to feel that they are loved from the society, they want to fit in the right box. So it's again about how to be loved by other people. So they think that they have to buy a lot of stuff and they have to show that they have all the last stuff, I don't know, all the last car, the last thing, the last that, and they think that this is how they can buy love. So I think it's all, in my point of view, it's a lot around love, and that's why when you do this kind of self journey about who you are, and you discover how you can love yourself first, you accept who you are, then you don't have to show off and you don't have to play a role to fit in the society. So then you can spend your money wherever you want, with whoever you want, and the way you want. And that's where you don't have to find a lot of money, because maybe your life doesn't need to have all of this money to be happy.
So love begins with self-love.
I think so, yeah. I think, yeah.
So to love others, you must first love yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, which is hard, because we know ourselves better than anyone knows us, and we always will. We'll always know something that someone else doesn't about ourselves.
A lot of people don't know themselves. They never took the time to know themselves. And sometimes they go on travel and they travel them alone, and that's where suddenly they discover who they are, and they discover who they like what they like, why they get up in the morning, what they're excited about, you know? So I think a lot of people, and it's, a lot of people.
So to love yourself, you need to know yourself, and to know yourself, you need to test yourself.
You need to test yourself, you need to focus on yourself, you need to recenter, you need to take your time for yourself, you need to just pause, you need to just press pause a bit and just take some time for yourself every day, rather than if it's doing, like, I don't know, an activity for yourself or whatever, but you just need to press pause a bit.
It seems so obvious to do that for people like you and I. Why do you think people don't press pause to look within?
I think people are afraid to discover what they're going to discover. A lot of people don't want to know who they are.
But the curious thing there is, when does that start? Like, because when we grow up, like, I'm fascinated by this moment or period of time in life when, you know, you're a kid, you have no judgment over anything. Everything is just new, fresh, fun. You know, there's no judgment. It is.
Yeah, but
and then at some point in life, we create this fear of our true selves, of looking within. Why do you think that happened?
Because as long as you grow older, you want to fit in the society, right? It's always about that. Like, yes, you're a kid, but at some point you grow up a little bit, you're still a kid, but you want to be part of the gang. You want to have friends, you want to be loved, you want to be accepted, you want to have the attention of your parents or your family or everything. So you start to play a role and you start to become someone that you're not. That's why sometimes you are a teenager and you become something extreme. For example, you play an extreme role, which is not you and it's not part of you, but it's just because you want the attention of someone. So for example, you have a lot of girls who have like anorexia because they need the attention of their family or their friend or whatever. So this is something, and they're not, it's not what define them. It's just because they want to, again, have love, attention, all of this. And I'm saying the same words again and again, but I think I want to insist on that because I think that's why. And so then you grow up and you become an adult and you still don't know yourself. And you think that you know yourself, but you don't. So some people, even at 30, 40 years old, they are still unhappy in life, even if they have the best role, the best job, the best money, the best boyfriend, the best whatever you want. They are still unhappy, and they feel that there is an empty place in their heart, and they don't know how to fill it, and they will never know how to fill it if they don't take the time to know themselves, and if they don't take the time to know what is best for them, and what is good for them, and what they need in life, what are their values, like everything around that.
So we've spoken about money, and we use money in order to find love, but love begins with loving ourselves. But we're afraid to look within to figure out how to love ourselves, which is I get. That's a process.
Yeah.
It's probably a process that doesn't end. As learning how to love ourselves is a lifelong journey.
Yeah, because after that you learn to love someone else as well. Like it's a lot. Yeah, it's
if you're lucky.
It's a huge thing. And at the end of the day, you're like, stop overthinking and just like be yourself. Do you be you?
Well, be yourself. That's a funny statement. But it's
be
hard. Yourself is a funny statement when you don't know yourself.
Exactly.
So it's like, how do I know how to be when I don't know who I am?
Because sometimes you just follow the people. You just do something because, okay, my friends are doing that, I'm gonna do that. But you never say like, do I like what I'm doing? Is it really something that I'm excited about, or is it something I'm just like going there because my friends are going and I want to be with my friends and I want to still be loved by them, So yeah, some people, because this is the thing that a lot of people, they are afraid to be alone. It's like when you're in a relationship with someone, you know that you don't love that person, but you're like, yes, but that person give me some presents, give me the attention I need at the moment, I'm gonna stay. But at the end, like they don't love the person and they don't find anything. You know what I mean? It's just, why do you stay? Because you're afraid to be alone. You're afraid of uncertainty. You're afraid to be like suddenly by yourself. What are you gonna do? And this is the same with us as human. If we are not fitting in the society, or if we're not fitting in this group of people, are we gonna be alone? How are you gonna do? Is it gonna be good, nice? Like, are you it's just and that's why sometimes you say like, get out of your comfort zone. This is for me the statement of go out and do something that you don't usually do with people that you don't usually meet. One of the best exercise, for example, I'm gonna give you a life example. One of the best exercise I'm having now. I'm living in Australia, far from home, far from my family. Yes, I've met a lot of really good friends here, French and from other nationalities. And I wanted to have something more, and something which would excite me a bit more and would help me discover myself, because I'm in this journey of getting to know myself, to love myself more. So I discovered this run club community every Saturday morning, and it's like something, you get up at 5 a.m., like at 4:30 a.m., and you go there at 5 a.m. to start to run with a bunch of people that you don't know, that I don't know, and most of them are Australians, and I'm French. And it's like, for me, it's getting out of my comfort zone, because first of all, getting up super early to motivate myself to run, which is not something that I usually do, and with people that I don't know, and I'm talking about like 100 of people. And it's like going there alone by myself and suddenly discover that maybe I'm going to be attracted by this kind of people to go and talk with them, I became a kid again. Like I was like feeling that I was a kid, and I was like trying to make new friends. And to make new friends, you have to be like, okay, I'm gonna do an eye contact with that person because it's a smiling person. She seems really nice. She seems positive. So it's all these kind of things, and then you get to know people and more and more and more. And I don't know. It's just this is for me getting out of my comfort zone and trying to know which kind of people I'm attracted about and I'm vibrating with, because it's all about energy for me. I think you vibrate with the right people, like the energy who are vibrating with you on the same energy level. But to know that and to discover all of this, you need to get out of your comfort zone, and you need to do some stuff which are not comfortable for you. This is not comfortable for me to get out all the time. Like I was during the first month, every Saturday morning I was going there. I was alone by myself, not talking to anyone, because I was scared, like so scared about like smiling to someone and starting to talk. I was like, what should I say? Like if I'm hi, and then what? Like what's the conversation here? So I was super scared. But then consistency, and then the fact that I was pushing myself more and more, and I knew that there was an achievement at the end of this. And it worked. It worked well, because in the end, like I'm meeting a lot of people, I'm having new friends, and this is just for me the best achievement that I did lately, to discover more about myself and to love more myself, because now I'm just really proud. I'm proud to say, yes, I did that alone, and I'm gonna keep doing stuff like that by myself. So yes, it's hard, but people should do that more if they wanna find who they are, because some people don't care, I think.
Yeah, that's super powerful. I was thinking when you were saying that about how sometimes, well, I'll reflect on a thought that I've been having lately, is that it's easy to think that we can do something but then never actually do it. So it's like, you know, maybe before I studied at university and before I started working in, let's call it a semi-corporate, you know, large organization, it's like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like, oh, I know leadership skills. Oh, like I know, you know, how to network. I know how to like implement, execute a, you know, marketing campaign. Oh, I know how to do that. I know, but I've never done it. And it's like only when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone to actually do what you think you can do you actually discover whether that's true or not. And only when you discover whether maybe parts of it are true, some parts aren't, can you actually focus your energy and become who you're meant to be. So it's like, test yourself, put yourself out there, see what works, see what doesn't. And then it's like, whether it's ourselves or whether it's a business or whatever it is in life, it's like you have to iterate. But you can't iterate if you haven't tested the first prototype. It's like, to test the first prototype, you just have to show up. And this is something that I certainly talk about with, well, something my coach spoke to me about. It's like, show up. It's like, if you can just show up, you're opening yourself up to possibilities. And without possibilities, there's no opportunity. And without opportunities, then, you know, there's no reason to be hopeful. And in order to survive in this world, we need hope. Hope is like, hope gives us a reason to continue. So knock on doors, show up, maybe the door doesn't open. Knock on a different door.
Yeah, but at the same time, we also have to understand that some people are fine where they are and they don't want to take any risk in their life, and yeah, they're just fine. I'm saying this to myself, I think, because sometimes I don't understand. But yeah. But
I think that is fine if that is what you have decided you want.
Yes.
I think if you're saying you're fine, but you know that there's something that maybe like, I'm not sure if my mum's going to listen to this, but so I need to be careful. But there are people, and I think I've already given away in case she listens. Hey, Mum, love you. But it's like things don't work out the way we want to. And we can easily rationalize why they weren't meant to work out, because that helps us sleep better at night. It's like, oh, you know, like things or everything happens for a reason, just wasn't meant to be. Like, I've learned a lot, like I'm happy. I think having the awareness when we're telling ourselves a story about why something we really wanted didn't happen is really important, because, and I hate cliches, but like, life is actually quite short, and we do only get to live it once as far as we know. I do think that I might come back in my second life as a golden retriever.
Okay.
But But as far as we know, life only
Yeah.
happens once. So it's kind of like, do we want to live a life where we're rationalizing why things we really wanted didn't happen? Or do we need to, like, you know, adopt a growth mindset, or adopt, you know, this, what did I learn from this? How can I iterate for next time? How can I apply those lessons? You know, what's the learning here?
Do you think the personality plays a role here?
In the
ability to take action, to decide for yourself.
Does personality play a role in the ability to take action? Personality might play a role in the specific action we take, or the way that we take our action, but I don't think personality necessarily needs to dictate the goal that we set in the first place. It might just dictate how we get there. So, for example, if someone's introverted versus extroverted, the way they build their business and the way they build their network is going to be very different because of their personality. So an introvert, they might, you know, do more one-on-one relationship building. It might take a little bit longer. They might have a different skill set. Whereas the extrovert, he's going to be at all the conferences. He's going to have his business cards. He's going to, you know, be on stage, and he's going to be doing all of these amazing things. And people are going to be coming to him to say, I really want to invest in this. How can I make this happen? How can we work together? But whilst they have a different path, the end goal will be the same. So I don't think, if, you know, people are listening to this and they think, oh, well, I don't have the personality to achieve that. It's like, decide on what you want, but then maybe you just need to figure out a different way to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's enough people in the world, you know, enough differences in the people in the world, and there's enough of those people who have succeeded in very different ways for us to be able to find one or two of those examples that we can maybe draw inspiration from. So, you know, if you walk to the self-development aisle in a bookstore now, there's a whole section on how introverts have been successful. There's a whole section on, you know, whatever type of person you are, there's going to be some kind of resource that exists that can give you some of the first steps that you might want to take. So whatever your personality, whatever hardship you faced, there's someone out there who's gotten through it, you know, with the same hand of cards or a worse hand of cards. So, you know, keep the hope, and there's a way somewhere.
Yeah.
And it might take 20 years, but
in the end, you're doing something different.
if you're doing something meaningful to you, like if it's not meaningful to you and you feel like it's the only reason you're doing it is because you think that it's meaningful to someone else, then maybe you need to re-examine what's actually happening here. It's like, if you're doing something that it doesn't matter about the money, it doesn't matter about anything other than the fact that you feel that this is deeply meaningful and purposeful to you, then just keep chipping away. It doesn't matter. You'll spend 50 years of your life and you'll be able to look back and be like, you know what, I didn't get what I wanted from that from an outcome point of view, but I enjoyed the process.
This is where we're going back to the money point. We're doing a loop in all our subjects.
Yeah.
Where we can say sometimes it's fine and it's okay to spend all our savings in your goal and take the risk rather than...
I would also caution people who are thinking about investing in Bitcoin.
Wow. No, that's not the point.
Seek further financial advice before just dropping all of your money into that.
No, the point I wanted to share is just sometimes we can feel stuck in in a situation. We feel that we don't have maybe enough money to achieve a goal that we have, and sometimes we should maybe just take the risk and see what is going to happen behind this, rather than spending your whole life being careful about your savings and your money and everything. I'm talking about when your savings are only involving yourself and not all your family or whatever. But I think sometimes it's better taking the risk and see what happens, because as you said before, money comes and go. It will always comes and go. And I think it's better sometimes to not chase for money, but more chase for your goals to fulfill a happy life. Very
Yeah,
powerful.
I agree. But still be careful about Bitcoin. It seems to be coming up in a lot of conversations
we're
lately.
Not coming back to, no, we're not going to this point.
Yeah. No, but you're right. I think
it's hard sometimes to just say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it fully. I'm gonna put all my savings on the table and just see what happens. But for me, when your intuition is telling you go for it, achieve this because you want it so bad, and as you said before, it's for you. When you feel that it's for yourself, you're feeling something inside you which is telling you go for it. You need that. I think money shouldn't be a problem. Money should just be something like a currency to help you and support you in your project. So, again, if your relationship with money is fine, then you can follow your dreams and spend the money where you have to achieve your goals. Because at the end of the day, money is just helping you achieving your goals. Money is not the final destination. That's what I want to say. It's just here to help and support. But this is not why you're living every day. You shouldn't get up in the morning to make money. You should get up in the morning to be happy, to just, yeah.
Well, money, let's look at, to do a full circle, but money is just a measure of value.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways that we could measure value, but money seems to be just the universally agreed measure of value. So why is one job paid more than another job? It's because it's more valuable. The skill set's, harder to obtain. It's rarer. It's that's what makes it more valuable. But then we need to think about, well, how do I want to define value? What's valuable to me? And then just put the idea of money to the side. It's like, what value do you place on the relationships? What values do you place on the experiences? And maybe start to think about how you measure success in other metrics.
For you, what is success
for us?
You?
Yeah. Which is interesting because that's a video that I shared with my students recently is, what does success mean for you?
Exactly.
Across lots of different areas of your life. It's like there's, I think it's The Wheel of Life by Zig Ziglar, who has, I think 7 different domains to assess your fulfillment or something like this. And it's like spiritual, relationships, family, growth, learning, and I'm making these up, but it's like across different domains. And then you assess how full each of those domains are. And it doesn't even talk about money necessarily. That is one part of it, because if we don't have the basics to survive, then it impacts negatively upon the others. But so long as we're looking after that part, it's like, okay, let's invest more time into my friends and family and reading, learning, growth, giving. It's like, I believe in, and this is another topic, I digress, but what goes around comes around, that idea of karma. It's like we use that expression to say, oh, well, if you do wrong by someone, then you're going to get, screwed over as well. It's like what goes around comes around, but it's also in a positive sense. It's like if you give out positive energy and you give out joy, that joy and that positive energy will also come back to you. So it's like, how are we giving? And we should be giving freely of ourselves, because that is going to come back to us in maybe different ways. Maybe it could be financially. But when we hold on to it, it's like this scarcity mindset. It's like when we view money as like this scarce resource that we need to hold on tightly, we're not allowing it to go around and come back to us in abundance. And we need to be really careful of that. But when you don't have money and you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's really hard to let go of that scarcity mindset, because it's, you're holding on for survival. But there's a lot of stories where, one of my favorite films, The Pursuit of Happiness, where his boss is going for this job and he really believes and he can see the potential and he's like giving it everything. And then he's got, the last few notes of money in his wallet, and his boss asks for him to spot the taxi ride, and he gives freely of himself. And then, you know, I won't spoil the ending of the film, but it works out pretty well for him. It's like sometimes you just got to let go of what you're holding onto so tightly. This is a bigger metaphor for life as well, to allow what's meant for you to come back.
Yes.
It's scary, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And that is an episode of something.
No, it was really interesting. It was really interesting. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all your insight. It was.
Well, thank you. I think you probably spoke for more than me that time.
We were
it was balanced. I think the listeners got to hear more about your story, your passion, why you're actually, you know, what's driving. Because I think in a lot of the podcasts, it's great to hear from other guests.
Of course.
But what's driving your passion behind this? And I think from the conversation today, I think I personally got to hear a little bit more about why this is important for you, what's driving your motivation. So hopefully, you know, that hasn't turned off all of the listeners. Oh shit, this Mel chick. What a nut job.
Hopefully not. I find it very, very helpful for me to get to know more about myself by hearing others' people, values, and life stories. So that's why I did this podcast. But yeah, thank you for listening to me, Paul, today, and thank you for sharing all your insight. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day, have a good weekend wherever you are, and see you soon.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.